Hi everyone and welcome to the What's New in Autodesk InfraWorks 360 webinar. My name is Stephen Ellis and I'm the Australian and New Zealand Civil Infrastructure Technical Specialist for Autodesk. Alright, so what's new in InfraWorks 360 release 2017.2? There are more engineering features. We're getting serious with road design now and have expanded bridge capabilities. You'll be able to do more with point clouds and flood simulation. We have a new feature set around legal boundaries and some user interface improvements around styles. So let's first look at improved engineering features. So now, while InfraWorks 360 is fantastic in that it has more real-world, fully rendered views from the very beginning, there are times when, as engineers and designers, that we may want to view our models differently. So we now have the ability to change to an engineering view with which is more simplistic. Note that we have full control over the view settings here and can create our own unique view styles. This functionality is great as it allows you to quickly transition from viewing the real-world render to a more engineering view. You can see here we have wireframe views and it's all very easy to control through the panel up the top. With the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can now show contours easily. When you select an area of interest, you can turn on the contour display, allowing you to understand what is happening with your design model. The contour display is dynamic, so if we make a design change in the view, is updated. We can also change the interval of the contours to our desired spacing. Again, this feature is allowing you to see the engineering detail in your design models. So you can see as we change the interval here, that's updated in the design. So with the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can easily view the cross-section of your road design. You have full control over the section's location and the zoom within the section panel. The section panel has 3 different view styles, including a super elevation view, road assembly, and a view with the cut and fill. Note that the section view is providing some details around the cut and fill volumes at each section. You can also control the exaggeration of the section. Again, another feature allowing you to interrogate the engineering detail in your models. So with the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can calculate earthworks quantities at the click of a button. The new user interface here is very simple. Located in the bottom right corner, we can see the cut and fill volumes for our selected road. You can also view and export the detailed values. The output is sent to Excel with settings to control the station interval and those values. Again, we can easily recalc the volumes if we change the design. With this new feature, we can easily assess the cost impacts of a design as you're working. So with the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can easily configure the units that are applied when you get important information from your model. You can control the unit and precision for many values. You can easily switch between imperial and metric. This is great as it allows you to get each value you need in a form that makes sense to you. So again, there is the easy change between imperial and metric. So now let's look at some of the serious road design features. So with the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can build roads using smart components like lanes, curbs, sidewalks, barriers, shoulders, whatever information you need. Each component can be configured independently, as is being done with the sidewalk in the current example. You can also insert new components anywhere along the design. Here we are inserting a new lane component to create a bus bay. Not only can you add the bus lane, we also have full control over the tapers and geometry and location. Component roads are important as they will give you greater flexibility in your road designs to meet project needs. And really I see component roads as the way forward with InfraWorks 360, as they just give you so much more flexibility. So let's look at some additional features in the Component Roads tool. You can use templates to apply a complete road configuration all at once. Here we are saving out the current Component Roads section as a style. We can now apply that new template we've created to a second road. So you can see that new style has been applied. We can now continue working on the newly converted road. Here, adding some trees along the back of the footpath. You could be adding a concrete barrier or a guardrail or any other street furniture that you may need to add. Again, component roads will allow you to design more efficiently and with greater detail. So with the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can add roadside gradings to your road design. Let's start by changing the method from fixed fixed width to fixed slopes. You will see now that InfraWorks 360 is providing a 3-in-1 constant slope. Note that a texture is applied to the batters now too. That's one thing that we've been waiting for a while. You can also now select a single side of the road and control the settings of this side individually. In this example, we will change the slope and texture of just this one side. So with the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can now apply super elevation. Again, another one we've been waiting for. Once you turn on super elevation for a road, you can see in the section view that the road has been modified. We're given some on-screen graphics to show the transition areas as well. So we are able to control some of the super elevation values, such as the percent slope and the run out inside the curves. InfraWorks 360 has the ability to create a pavement drainage network for you. And in this new release, not only is it able to do this, it's able to understand the complex geometry offered by the component roads. So let's take a closer look at this network. We can see that it has recognized the depressed median and the super elevation. Now that's the key and why it's such a great change to get super elevation into the package now. So placing inlets on the inside of the curve where needed, and also there in the depressed median as well. So as you can see, with component roads and super elevation, we can create more advanced designs and meet our project needs. Let's take a look now at how you can do even more with bridge design and analysis in InfraWorks 360. So bridges in this release of InfraWorks 360 has a sophistication that matches the component roads. Here we are creating a bridge on the complex road geometry from component roads. So the bridge has recognized that geometry and the cross-section from the component road. You can also go now and replace the style across that bridge with a new component road style. So note that the bridge has also adopted the super elevation from the component roads. So let's now take a look at bridge elements themselves. We now have component display where we can turn on and off different features and components. So in this case, let's look at just the deck and the girders. We just want to isolate those two on their own. So as you select the road, it's just locking to those elements that we wanted to display. So another aspect of this component approach is that we have greater control over the elements themselves. So for example, we can select the deck, and in the asset card you can see all of the values that we were able to change. We can also add additional cross sections into the bridge. So this will allow us to control values at this slice, so we can basically go and make variable thickness decks and elements along the model. So you see here we're going to add that new section, and then over in the asset card for that section we're able to change the values of that cross section. There and the thickness, we can change that now. Again, that varies the thickness from then on. Again, this is dynamic. You can slide that section along and define where you want that to be located, and everything updates within the model. So really we have the same capabilities with the girders. We're able to change the girders as well in this case. Turning off the deck just to focus on the girders and piers. Again, zoom in, add a section. In this case, we're just going to change the top flange of that. So again, we've got a lot greater flexibility in the capabilities of the design. So again, it's just being able to meet those project needs. So with the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can verify the structural strength of the bridge girders by performing a line girder analysis. Now this analysis is complete. In this example, we can select individual girders to view information about that girder. You can also see the color coding indicating the performance of the girders. The girders in red indicate a problem with the design. And these correspond also to the coloured values in the asset card as well, so you can easily see between the two. So note that selecting the non-coloured girder, we see that there are no values highlighted in the asset card. So if you want to get more detailed information about this girder analysis, you can click the Get Full Report button, which links you to a purchase dialog. Note it is currently free. A detailed report then is created. The report is in PDF format, and finally we can take this information and open it in Autodesk Structural Bridge Designer to continue with any detailed design and documentation of the bridge that we may need to go on about. So here you already see it's opened in Autodesk Structural Bridge Designer. All right, let's move on and take a look at some improvements to point cloud functionality within InfraWorks 360. So with the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can turn a point cloud into terrain data very easily. So InfraWorks 360 will analyze a point cloud for you and create an optimized ground surface and extract vertical information like light poles and trees and signage and things like that. This just isn't converting a point cloud as well, note, into something else. It's processing that data. Note that you can also re-export this point cloud in its original form, in a lighter weight form, or a stripped down version containing, say, just the optimized surface points. So noting also that this export can be to within InfraWorks 360 to, say, a new proposal, or out to a separate RCS file for external use, say in Civil 3D. So you'll see once we start the process, and once the processing is done, that the terrain surface is updated with the optimized point cloud data. The process has also set the stage for extracting the vertical information as well. So with the point cloud now processed, we can also run through a process where we can start tell InfraWorks 360 to place those vertical features that I just spoke about into the model, such as trees, light poles. So InfraWorks 360 will recognize and flag these features, as seen here by all of those yellow boxes that are around. You'll have full control around changing out and editing the features as you work through the model. So each time it's going to prompt you for what's there, and you've got full control over that. So really it's allowing you to do more with the point clouds and starting to move into actually getting model objects replacing that point cloud information. So let's look at a new feature set in InfraWorks 360, areas of interest. These are great tools to represent legal boundaries in your model. So with the latest release of InfraWorks 360, you can use area of interest to represent parcels, easements and right-of-ways. You can do this by designing within InfraWorks 360, or you can also import data and apply these settings to that data. So let's look at designing within InfraWorks 360, and here we're going to use the right-of-way tool and selecting an alignment and changing all of the offsets and the size of the road that those offsets are going to be working on. So there we go, the right-of-ways now has been created along that alignment, along that road, design road. So as I said, you can also import data and apply these styles. Here we are adding some SDF data. This could be shapefiles or any other information for this cadastral information. And then in the configuration panel here, we're able to apply these new settings to this data. So we're going to select parcels, and then we can select the style that's now available to us. We'll go dark blue here for the lots and the boundaries. And then as we select this information, we're now able to store additional attributed data within this that makes more sense around areas. You may need to add DP numbers, all that sort of stuff. And also noting that it's in the Model Explorer, they're broken out separately, so you could turn them on and off. They're treated as separate entities. And then in the asset card there, you can see all of the different information that's available to us, like the area and perimeter. So next let's take a look at how flood analysis and simulation have become part of this new release of InfraWorks 360. So if you have the latest release of InfraWorks 360 and Riverflow Hydronia 2D, you can run a flood analysis and simulation right in your InfraWorks 360 model. So we start by defining the boundary that we would like to study for our flood event. So we then define the inflow and outflow locations. We then go and provide the necessary values to run the flood analysis. So once we've selected the run simulation, and once that's complete, you can play the simulation in the model and analyze the water surface elevation, depth and velocity. So here we see a very visual and easy to understand play-through visualization of the impacts the flood event is having. So there are also tools for creating snapshots, and really it's all about easily communicating the results of the analysis. So again, this is now full functionality within InfraWorks 360. This used to be a limited technology preview in the beta platforms, but now it's fully within InfraWorks 360. All right, finally, let's look at a new feature. It's really from a user interface perspective. It's called Recently Used Styles. So the new release of InfraWorks 360 saves you time by always remembering the last few styles that you have been using. So here you can see that once we change the style of this car to a taxi, and then we select another car, in our little menu there, the taxi becomes the first item that pops up. So again, here, clicking on the house, we can now change that to a different style. Again, selecting it, those styles are the last two remembered styles that we have. And this applies to any of the street furniture or any of the furniture that we have within InfraWorks 360. Alright, so they're all of the new features from InfraWorks 360. Now, if you're already a user or if you're not, here's how you can go about getting the latest versions. So you can either use it through the desktop app if you have access to that. You can also download it from the manage.autodesk.com area from your account. Also, if you want to get a free trial, if you're not a current user and you want to have a try of the latest version, you can go to autodesk.com to the InfraWorks page there, and you're able to get a free 30-day trial to get into the product and start having a look and have a play around with it. Here are also some additional resources. So the ANZ YouTube channel where this video is posted, along with all of the other ones that we have up there, is there. There's also the actual InfraWorks 360 YouTube channel. And there's also my contact details there as well if you've got any other questions or want to connect with me about anything to do with the Autodesk civil infrastructure products. So that's it for me for this webinar. Thank you very much for attending and watching, and I will talk to you all again soon. Thank you.